It all started with a notification, just one tiny ping from my phone, lying face down on my bedside table. I almost ignored it. I wish I had. My name is Maura, and my life used to be completely, beautifully, boringly normal. I had a job I didn't hate, a small apartment I loved, and about 300 followers on social media, most of whom were my mom's friends. I posted pictures of my cat, my sad-looking houseplants, and the occasional sunset, standard stuff. Then came the ping. It was an Instagram notification. Someone tagged me in a post. I didn't recognize the username. I tapped on it, and my screen was flooded with a picture of, me. It was a candid shot taken from across the street a few days ago while I was waiting for a bus, reading a book. Nothing special. My hair was a mess. I was wearing my favorite old coat with a coffee stain on the sleeve. The caption just said, her, that was it, just her. I thought it was weird, maybe a mistake. But then another notification popped up, and another, and another. My phone started buzzing like a trap bee. I refreshed my own profile. Within an hour, I had over 100,000 followers. My direct messages were a war zone. People were asking me who I was, what I did, where I got my coat, what book I was reading. It was the Midnight Library, by the way. The irony was not lost on me. My entire digital existence was being rewritten in real time, and I had no idea why. The original post had exploded, shared by massive accounts with millions of followers. Each share added another layer to the mystery. Comments ranged from "she has such a vibe" to "who is this girl? I need to know everything." But there was nothing to know. I'm just Maura. I work in data entry. My biggest accomplishment last week was keeping a fern alive for 7 consecutive days. I tried to reply to some messages to explain that I was just a regular person, but it was like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. For every message I answered, 1,000 more flooded in. The next morning, it got real. As I left my apartment, a small group of people were standing outside my building, holding their phones up. They took my picture as I walked out. One of them shouted, "Maura, we love you." I just froze. How did they know my name? How did they know where I lived? I panicked, pulled my hood up, and practically ran to the subway. On the train, I could feel eyes on me. People were whispering, pointing their phones not so subtly in my direction. I felt like an exhibit in a zoo. Work was a nightmare. My boss pulled me into his office, looking bewildered. He said reporters had been calling our main line all morning, asking for the Maura from the photo. He asked me what was going on. I just looked at him and said, "I honestly have no idea." He sent me home for the day, probably because the distraction was costing the company money. Walking home was even worse. The small group from the morning had multiplied. There were actual cameras now, the kind with big lenses. A reporter shoved a microphone in my face. "Maura, what's your secret? Why does the world suddenly love you?" I just shook my head and pushed through the crowd, my heart hammering against my ribs. I locked my door, slid down against it, and finally let myself cry. This wasn't fame. This was a nightmare. I hadn't done anything to deserve this attention, good or bad. I hadn't written a hit song, or discovered a cure for a disease, or saved a baby from a burning building. I had simply existed. I was famous for being me. But a version of me I didn't even recognize. A version created by strangers, projected onto a grainy photo of a girl waiting for a bus. The days that followed were a blur of digital noise and real-world chaos. Brands started reaching out, offering me 5-figure deals to post a picture with their product. Talk shows wanted to interview me. A production company even emailed about a reality show. They wanted to document my journey. My journey to where? I was just trying to get to the grocery store without having a panic attack. I tried deactivating my accounts, but it was too late. Fan pages had already popped up, reposting all my old photos. They analyzed everything. A picture of my cat, Mittens, became a symbol of my humble and relatable nature. A blurry photo of a pizza I made was hailed as an authentic culinary moment. They were building a narrative, a mythology around a person who was spending most of her time hiding under her covers, eating cereal for dinner. The original account that posted my photo. It was anonymous, no profile picture, no other posts. It was like a ghost had thrown a stone into a lake, and I was at the center of the ever-expanding ripples. There were so many theories. Was it a social experiment? A viral marketing campaign for the coat I was wearing, or the book I was reading? Both the coat company and the book publisher released statements saying they had nothing to do with it, which, of course, only made people more suspicious and fueled the fire. I started to feel like I was losing my mind. I couldn't distinguish between reality and the online fiction everyone had created. I saw a therapist. She said I was experiencing a very unique, very modern form of trauma. The complete and total erasure of a private self. I wasn't Mara, the data entry clerk, anymore. I was her. I was a meme, a symbol. A blank canvas for millions of people to project their own hopes, dreams, and insecurities onto. The breaking point came about a week into this madness. A news article was published with the headline, "The Girl Who Did Nothing. Why the Internet is Obsessed with Mara." It featured interviews with sociologists and digital media experts, all dissecting my appeal. They said I represented a longing for authenticity in a hyper-curated world. That my sheer normalness was a rebellion. Reading that, I felt a strange mix of anger and emptiness. They were celebrating my authenticity while simultaneously stripping me of it. They loved the idea of a normal girl, but their love made it impossible for me to ever be normal again. I was trapped, so I decided to do something. Something that wasn't for them, but for me. I reactivated my Instagram. My phone nearly crashed from the notification surge. I ignored it. I didn't post a selfie or an ad. I didn't explain anything. I just posted a single, high-resolution photo. It was a picture of my thumb covering the camera lens. It was completely black, and the caption was just one word: bye. Then I shut it all down again, for good this time. I changed my number. I took a leave of absence from work. I packed a bag, grabbed my cat, and I left. I don't know where I'm going. Exactly. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere I can read a book at a bus stop in peace. Somewhere I can just be Mara. Maybe one day the world will forget about the girl in the photo. Maybe the internet will find a new her to obsess over. I hope so. Because what I've learned is that being seen by everyone can make you feel more invisible than you ever thought possible. Fame, when you don't ask for it, isn't a gift. It's a cage, and I've finally found the key. My story is a weird one, and I hope it's something that never happens to you. It makes you think about the nature of fame and privacy in our world. What do you think about all this? Drop a comment below. I'd genuinely be interested to hear your perspective on it. Thanks for listening to my story. Stay safe out there, and maybe, just maybe, stay a little bit anonymous. It's more valuable than you think.